Hey.
Hi. Hi.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
We're hard at work on season 4, but we were able to record a live show. So we wanted to put that out sooner than later, and we hope you guys enjoy. We got to go to the University of Pittsburgh. This was my first time in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Like
really,
stunning.
really different than anywhere else I've been.
I would move there, but I feel that way
you
about
really
every
would.
city that we visit.
You really would.
It was fabulous.
So yeah, the Rainbow Alliance, which is like the LGBTQ plus student organization on campus, invited us, and we were the closing event of their Pride Week. It was incredible. We did a whole show. There was an intermission where the fire alarm was pulled.
Yep. It was so amazing. Everyone was so sweet and welcoming. And we kind of used this show as an opportunity to reflect on like what it's been like to make the podcast over the past few years. We've been working on this shit for 5 years, which is so crazy to think about. And we answered some questions submitted by the audience, by the students at UPitt. And it was so special to like interact with our listeners in that kind of like personal and intimate, like face-to-face type of way.
Yeah, it was a really like, it was like an intimate group. We were like in a rec room and people were sitting there. People were so polite. Like people were like, it felt like class a little bit. We had to be like, hey
That's
guys.
the Midwest, baby.
Totally.
Everyone was really nice, like really a little shy. It was very cute.
Yeah, it was very sweet. It was great to see everybody there, even though the fire alarm went off partway through the show, and we just sat there being like, we can keep going, right? And everyone was like, no, you have to go.
Me and Allie were fully ready to not evacuate.
I was like, we went to college. We know that this, and even as we're walking out, someone's like, this happens all the time. And we're like, we know.
We know.
Let's just
so can we stay?
The show.
Right, exactly. It was amazing. And we just wanted to go ahead and release the recording to hold you over until season 4, which is coming out very, very soon. And if you're listening to this right now, the video of the show is also available on Patreon.
Woo!
Yes.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is really awesome. If you don't know me, my name is Asa. I'm the president of Rainbow Alliance. We're really excited to bring this to you guys today. I would just like to take the time to plug Rainbow for a second. Rainbow Alliance is the oldest queer org on campus. We have an office on the 6th floor here that anybody is allowed to come drop by. We do weekly events, and continued support allows us to do more cool things like this. So please come check us out. Follow us at Rainbow at Pitt on Instagram. I don't have much else to say, so please join me in welcoming the Gender Spiral podcast.
Everyone give it up for Asa and the Rainbow Alliance, please. Hell yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
Asa, thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Amazing. We're so excited to be here.
Yes, definitely. I spent a lot of time in a room like this at college. I was looking at the pool balls over there and remembered that I was SoCal 9-ball champion.
You have endless lore. That's fucking crazy.
It's just a little lore dump, okay? I thought I'd breadcrumb out the lore. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. We are going to introduce the podcast and the project a little bit for those of you who aren't familiar.
Yes.
And then just kind of ask each other some questions because we've interviewed a lot of people, but we've never interviewed each other.
Exactly. And if you guys haven't listened to Gender Spiral before, we started the project back in 2023, and we're currently on our 4th season, which is fucking crazy.
Yes.
It's coming out sometime in the spring. And, in this show, basically, we interview queer, trans, and non-binary folks kind of about their relationship to gender, which looks a whole lot of different ways. And we've interviewed we recently we were working on a little project where we wrote out every single name of every guest we've had.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh my God, we've interviewed so many fucking people at this point.
Totally. It was one of those moments where you're like, let's take stock and feel a little bit of pride.
Exactly.
And that was very cute.
Yes.
Actually, initially this project started out, I wanted to interview people about masculinity specifically. And then we were like, oh, why limit ourselves? So then it became gender in general. But we definitely have, I would say, similar experiences of the gender binary.
Yeah.
And in the ways that they differ, it's been like really cool to kind of like co-interview people.
Exactly. And yeah, in like each episode, someone might tell us a thread that we were really interested in the beginning. It was kind of how queer folks are kind of messing with this binarity of like femininity and masculinity and like messing with those categories, and then like maybe even kind of moving beyond those categories to kind of embody a more like decolonial idea of gender. So it's truly just very fucking cool to like every single person we interview has kind of a different concept about gender and what it is and what it can look like.
Totally. I think when I first started, I was thinking about gender in this like, there's the binary, and then there's this third option, and there are 3 total.
Exactly.
And it's been very cool to just interview really creative people. You can do truly whatever you want. But we're on a college campus. I'm sure y'all know that already. This is my first time in Pittsburgh, I'll just say.
Yes.
It's awesome. I'm in Southern California where things are crumbling and they were built 10 years ago.
Yes.
It's because they were made out of like paper mache. Like,
no, it's so cute. It's like so kind of like post-industrial. It's my first time in Pittsburgh as well, but yes. But it doesn't feel like my first time, first of all, because we are in a little neighborhood called Oakland, and I'm from the real Oakland. I'm from Oakland, California.
Just immediately adversarial with the audience.
And second of all, I watched this little show called The Pit, and so I feel very immersed in the culture of this place.
You watched The Pit and you were like, I'd love to see more.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Baby Jane's out. Baby Jane's out. Anyway.
I love her. I would do anything for her. I've only seen the first season. Does she turn bad?
No.
Okay. Problematic fave.
Right.
Okay, great.
Should we start with our interview?
I would love that. Yeah, let's hop into it. And let's at the end, just so that you have an idea of kind of what this will look like, we're going to interview each other, but then we're also going to have like a Q&A, like open it up to questions from any of y'all. So if you want to write down a question, you can pass it kind of to the end of either side. And our producer, Ireland, where are you at? Give it up for Ira! Ireland drove here nonstop from New York City today. Someone buy them a drink.
Right.
A Red Bull, a coffee. I don't know. Is that dangerous? Are you driving back tonight? Okay, good. We have like an all-hands meeting in front of you.
Yeah.
We're worried about you. No, but please, if you have any questions, write them down. We would love to
give us
hear
questions.
from you.
Please. We would love it.
And these can be about gender identity. These can be about making a podcast.
Exactly.
These can be
anything we bring
anything.
up is fair game.
What we buy at Trader Joe's, no matter what.
Exactly. What we steal from Trader Joe's. Okay, anyways, I think we should get started.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I think these first couple questions are like just us kind of introducing ourselves and like who we are, just in case like you guys don't know. Okay, so Allie, could you tell me a bit about your background as a comedian? How long have you been doing it? When did you get started? And like, was it something that you always knew that you wanted to do?
Whoa, okay.
Sorry, big question.
No, I love. I remember as a kid, like, there was a convalescent home that had an improv class, and it wasn't even for, like, old people. They were just, like, letting us use the space, and you had to audition, and they filmed you on a VHS tape, and they were like, you got in, full ride, and then they disbanded. Like, so someone somewhere has like a VHS tape of like
God.
a tiny me like going so hard in the paint trying to get like an improv scholarship.
Wait, how old were you?
Surrounded by old people who were just like an audience. I was probably like 13.
Okay.
Like, just at the point where you're like, please don't put me on camera. Like, I never want to see this version of myself again. So, yeah, that was, like, a big... It just feels like it could have happened, but it didn't at that time. It went away.
It went away.
It went away.
They saw your audition and
It was
disbanded.
taken. Yeah, no, totally. They were like, the talent isn't here. And then I did stand-up comedy at my hyper-conservative Christian college. That was kind of like clean stand-up. And God, I'm proud of it, honestly. It was rock solid. It was like, it had religious undertones, I won't lie, but I got paid $100, and so that was like my first big gig.
That's huge in college.
It was huge in college.
Huge.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, then I just did a lot of like online comedy stuff. So that's when I worked at like College Humor, which became Dropout, which is like my main job. A couple of woos. I appreciate everyone in here. Can I just say you're very polite? Is that like a Pittsburgh thing, or is that like, does this kind of feel like class? This isn't class. You can go crazy. Yes, so I work at this place called Dropout. It is an online streaming service. Thanks. We do shows, like an actual play about where we play D&D called Dimension 20. That's very comedy.
Oh, we have some fans.
We've got a few people who have watched D&D online. And then, so pretty much that is the beginning, middle, and end of my comedy career.
Wait, obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed. I love when we do these shows and I genuinely like learn new things
I
about
know,
you.
I
actually
know.
didn't
I'm like
know
excited.
That.
Yeah, totally.
So fun. Okay, so then what kind of led you into podcasting? Because Gender Spiral actually isn't your first podcast, quiet as it's kept. So
It's true. I had a podcast at College Humor called Tales from the Closet. It was kind of short-lived, I would say. There were like a good number, like a handful of episodes, and we would interview people kind of about like funny specifics about coming out of the closet. So a time that can be like really fraught. There could be just like one specific where you're just like, my aunt really insisted on taking me to a Lakers game. You're just kind of like, oh, this was how she wanted to like bond with me. I don't know, just like weird behavior.
funny details.
Yeah. I feel like when you're in like a position like that, that's like so sometimes like truly heinous. Like things are extra funny.
No, you
like,
have to
it's,
laugh.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the vibe there. But I will say, so you have done a lot of podcasts, you've done a lot of radio. I've learned so much from you.
Oh, stop.
I'm serious.
Oh,
I'm totally serious. I'm like, when we first started this project, I'd only done that podcast, but it was very like, like we were just kind of like joking and talk, and it wasn't really like kind of getting to like the beating heart of the matter, which is what I really wanted to do with this project. And so it's been really cool to like work with you and be like, leave like, just like ask questions in kind of a more open-ended way, be a little bit like slower. So yeah, I would say this is my real experience with like podcasting or interview shows. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I guess. I suppose.
Okay, how did you get into radio or like production?
Yeah, so I feel like radio has always been my way of kind of like answering, like genuinely answering questions like of what's happening around me. So like I'm a very verbal processor. Obviously, I talk so fucking much. I'm always talking. I'm always working things out. And I actually started radio in like high school. I went to this like really weird prep school in Oakland, like mostly white. And I just was kind of like, okay, I know my experience here sucks. Like, I kind of want to talk. So I interviewed like every single person of color and like including the staff, like our teachers about their experience there.
Wow.
And it was actually so fucking cool to like hear.
Are you laughing because it was doable?
Yes.
Like, okay, yeah. That's
No,
what
you
I was
guys,
picking
you
up on.
guys.
Yeah, totally.
Every single, like I was able,
totally.
maybe not every
Faculty,
single person,
staff,
but like a lot
alumni,
of people,
yeah.
a lot of people, exactly, alumni, a lot of people. And that just kind of like I made like a little website. It literally still exists. I still pay that little Squarespace.
What was it called?
It's called Stories Learned. It's very cute. I just like it as like a little archive of just like kind of. It's very 2016. It's very cute. But that's what kind of got me started in just like interviewing people and like as a way to actually kind of get answers to the questions that I was having about the world and like. And then I went on to college, and at the school that I was at, there was like a radio magazine, like a radio group where we like produced like all of our own projects. We like produced like these magazines each year, like I think semester. Of our own radio stories. So I learned how to edit, I learned how to produce, I learned how to do everything with just like my friends, and I did that for like 4 years in college. And this was back, like, I feel like podcasting has exploded in the past 5 years, but like, this is when you could like email like a show and just be like, hey, can I intern with you? And they'd probably say yes. Whoa. And so it was just like a really cool time that kind of like doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, totally.
It's like you email Call Me Daddy and you're like, yeah, could I please have an internship?
Can I open your Red Bulls for you?
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, then after that, I worked a little bit at NPR. I did some like member stations. I've like worked on like various shows. And it's still kind of my way of like answering questions that I have like about something. I'm like, okay, there's something interesting or weird there. Like, how can I do a deep dive and talk to people about it and kind of figure out like what I'm curious about, basically.
Wow. So. And you are going to school currently.
Yeah.
And it's not, is it for radio?
No. School is not for, well, my research is also about radio.
Yeah. But the program, tell me more about academia or like your relationship to it or.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
Such a good question. I'm a 5th-year PhD student at Yale in the Department of Black and American Studies. Thank
Heard
you.
of it.
Thank you. I am unfortunately one of those annoying people. I hate Yale, and so I hate being like, oh, I go to Yale. And so like people, I am one of those people. Like,
so real.
Like I am one of those people who's like, oh, I go to a school in New Haven, and they're like,
everyone's like, we know.
The fuck up.
It's a school in New Haven.
Like,
yes, totally.
I have to stop doing that. Yeah. But I'm just like, oh, I don't want to give Yale any free press. Like, they don't fucking deserve it. But yeah, I'm a PhD student. My research is about Black women as radio producers and radio listeners in the mid to late 20th century. I'm super passionate about the project. It's like the only reason I haven't dropped out is like out of spite that I'm like, I'm gonna finish this fucking project, even if it fucking kills me. So yeah. I lots of radio. I'm very interested in radio. So.
Totally. Wow. Incredible.
Oh, thanks, Deepa. So zooming out a little bit to talk about the show, and from your perspective, how did we first meet and how was Gender Spiral born? And I kind of want to see if it like align, like, you know, when they ask people who've dated, like, how do you, like, what was the first date like? Like, I'm like, I kind of want to see if it like aligns with like how or if you remember.
That's so funny. Well, okay, so the masculinity project that I spoke of earlier was, I kind of like rented a car. It was like leading up to the 2020 election, and I was like, I'm gonna do a bunch of like outdoor, like, what was it, like giving, like in COVID space? How am I blanking on this
Social
word?
distancing?
Social distancing.
In
thank
COVID
God.
space.
My brain was like, never again. Socially distanced outdoor audio project. And you can guess how good what the quality was of these interviews. There's like a crow screeching, there's like a car going by, the person's mumbling, I put the microphone on wrong. Like, it was a good try, I would say, but I went around and I interviewed queer people specifically in the South leading up to the 2020 election, and I was interested in their relationship to masculinity. So I had all of this footage. I also just recorded it wrong. Anyway, I could go on. I can go on and on with notes to self. But so I had all of this material, and I reached out to a friend, and she put us in touch, and we had a little Zoom.
Exactly.
And this was someone you worked with at NPR?
This is someone I worked with at NPR.
On which show?
Rachel Neal on Louder Than a Riot, which was a really amazing show about hip-hop and mass incarceration. Went on for like 2 or 3 seasons. Unfortunately got canceled because all shows by people of color get canceled at NPR. It sucks. It sucks. But it was a really cool show. The reason I'm giggling is because, yes, we got put in touch with my friend Rachel Neal, and Rachel was like, oh, like there's this person, like I think like they're looking for help with their podcast. Like, you know, if you would be down to go on as a producer. And I was like, oh yeah, totally. And I have listened to those recordings that you did for like probably like 20 hours nonstop. Like I have them like memorized because like I was trying to go through, and I just am like the audio was crazy.
It was so bad. Okay, so in a podcast, just so you guys know, for when you do this, when you drive through the South in a rental car, you are supposed to, the inputs, the audio is supposed to go to the same place. It's being mixed. What I did is I used lav mics, which we use on TV, and each person had their own lav mic, but they were also picking up the other person, which is really quiet. So it was truly unmixable.
We kind of just gave up on the
we
project.
Did.
Like I
we
remember
did.
Rachel at one point I think was like, yeah, this was also COVID. Rachel was like, I'd rather like drink wine than do this right now.
Totally.
So we gave up on that. Let's just hang out.
Totally.
Yeah. But that was like how we met.
Yeah,
how
totally.
we first started.
In a way, that was just like a beautiful like brainstorm. You know, like we just got some
ideas
ideas
on
the
launching
page.
pad. You always have to start somewhere.
Totally. So yeah, I remember us talking, and then I was like, "Do you want to co-host this?" Because my dream for this isn't just I'm interviewing people. It'd be very cool to have kind of like a duo.
Totally.
And you were like, I'm so sick of producing this because it's unproducible.
I was like, please, please,
let's start over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that was like obviously the right choice. So then we were like, oh, cool. With all of this, let's talk to some of those people again. Let's use a little bit of that. In the very first episode of Gender Spiral season 1, you hear a bunch of clips from those people. And I think we even go on in that episode to say, and you'll be hearing a lot more from these people this season, which I'm just now realizing, But we have caught up with a lot of them, and so it would be great to interview them, like, not in a park.
Totally. And we were kind of, I think, like, the premise for you asking me if I wanted to host the show is, like, I think I posted on Instagram about, like, maybe going on testosterone, and so I feel like we were kind of in, like, a similar place gender journey wise, which is so funny because now I'm like, I am not on testosterone. I never ended up like doing a full
you were like,
course
I did
of
not
it.
like that.
I didn't like it, and I did not end up doing that. But that was kind of like the impetus, and like we really wanted to kind of explore like masculinity. And it's so interesting how far we have strayed from that. Like we were really like, we're trans masc people who want to know about the trans masc experience.
Totally.
And so I guess that kind of leads into the next question, which is like, I don't know, how do you feel like the show has like evolved from like that very first season to like what we did like last season?
That's
for example.
A good question, I think, for both of us to answer, because I
yes.
do think the first season was just figuring out like who can we. I think some of the DNA is still there. We're still talking to people who are kind of like engaged socially, politically, and have like a lot to say about maybe like a marginalized identity in relationship to gender or as like a trans or I don't know. We've talked to like a lot of people that I feel like have a lot. Our first question is always like, what does gender mean to you? But I feel like we always jump into totally other buckets to have conversations with them about. But I do think like the production of it, like we've had like theme songs made, like even like small stuff like that.
We've had remixes of our theme song, which is so fun. Like our friend like Daria remixed our theme song.
Yes.
So sick.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, like the community grows and people are adding to it, and it's kind of getting more and more complex is how I would say.
Yes. Yeah, I think I would say something similar, which I think in the first season, we really had this kind of specific goal in mind. I feel like there's like kind of like not a desperation, that's not the right word, but you know when you're just in like like I feel like we were just we so wanted to hear from other like trans masc people like about their perspective. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like I think we were just like, we need answers. Like
totally.
please.
Totally. And it's kind of like when you look at your first friends who are also trans, you're like, we maybe didn't have that much in common.
Yeah, other
past
than
then you get more and
exactly.
more niche, and you're like, oh, we have so much other stuff in common. Like,
yes, exactly. That's a perfect way to kind of describe it. And so I think in that sense, the show has evolved so much that like we've interviewed folks of like all everywhere within like the gender spectrum. And I think it's also the show, the more we go on, I think it's actually become less about gender.
That's a really
in a
good
way,
point. Yeah,
or like
totally.
I don't know. I think it feels like gender is just kind of this like lens that we use to like look at these kind of greater like I don't know themes and ideas. So like the first season, like we were very like trans mask coded, and also like when you're first making a podcast, like I feel like people are being so generous with you for like this project where you have no portfolio, you have no like previous episodes. So it also in the first season, it felt like we were getting who we kind of felt like we could get.
Yeah,
and now that we're kind of a more established show, it also feels like
here's our episode with Judith Butler.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, oh, more people
Like,
are saying yes this season.
More
That's
people,
so cool.
more people are saying yes. Different kinds of people are saying yes. Like maybe people like. I don't know, we always make the joke that like one season's just gonna end up being a cis season because we kind of are just like in the sense that like the cissin.
Yeah.
In the sense that just like obviously everybody, whether you're cis or not, has a relationship to gender.
Totally.
And so like that's what I would say has like evolved the most. Like we're less like focused on gender and more so now gender used to explore these other themes. So like
yeah, there's something to that where I think like the outside world wants to flatten your experience in this kind of way and be like it's like people who get grant or like if you see an interview with like a musician you really like who happens to be a woman, all the questions are like what's it like being a woman in this space, and they're never asking like male musicians that. Like
yeah, exactly.
So I feel like similarly we don't just want to talk about gender, just talk about our experience. It would be nice to like kind of branch out from that a little bit.
I love season 2 that we have like a thread with like religion for a second that was so interesting. It's like it feels like the girlies are returning to religion a little bit like during that
it's
season.
So interesting just talking to so many people who are like, I pray, and you're like oh, like I just found myself just being like, oh, and I'm like, well, that's great, obviously.
Well, I had
like,
to check myself because like I just immediately tense up whenever
I
someone
think
says
it's our
that.
background,
It's our
just being
religious
kinda
trauma. But I'm like, wait, that's actually so beautiful that you can find this kind of relationship with God as in universe, as in everything, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally. So yeah, that's been ways that the project is like surprising. Where you're like, whoa, okay, we just had a whole episode about praying and altars and God.
I loved that season.
Yeah, I did too.
Our interview with Bay, for example, and her like practices, like Bay Davis, amazing poet, model.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think in this upcoming season, we would love to do some stuff with like mindfulness meditation. What are some other threads that are interesting to you?
Yeah.
Or dream guests, or if there's anything like that.
I don't know. Dream guest is super hard because I'm immediately like Kalela, like because I'm just like I love the musician Kalela. But in terms of kind of the world that we're building in this season, like we're kind of looking at like what it means to like show up every day, like, and we mean that in the sense of like. How do you show up within yourself and within your body every day, but also in this like political moment. I feel like what this political moment's going to require of us is not kind of a sporadic type of activism, but like an actual showing up in your political beliefs every day. And so like, what do you have to do to achieve that? Because like my aunt and my family, like they were Black Panthers, but it's like they wore themselves out. Like, girl, they were tired. Like they were so tired. And so it's like, how do we all collectively take care of ourselves, show up? And I think the answer literally is, like, I'm like, I know I need to chill the fuck out and meditate. And I'm never doing it, but I absolutely like know I need to do that. And so I think I'm excited to interview like artists and poets where it's like, bitch, how do you wake the fuck up and do that same shit every single day? Because like I'm writing a dissertation right now where it's like the first thing in a while where I've had to show up every single day, and it's crazy.
Yeah, totally. That amount of consistency, or like
I'm like allergic to it. It's like so sick and twisted, but
yeah, totally. Achoo. That it would be really cool to talk to people about this. Like artists have like their artist practice or their like studio hours, and it's like, what would that look like for like political engagement, or even just like
organizers? Like,
I really think about where like community is so important, and then you go to a neighborhood council meeting and you're like, this woman has been talking forever.
Exactly.
And you're like, oh yeah, that is what community looks like. Is like
it's
a
being
really
annoyed.
old, lonely woman who just wants to talk on the mic forever. And you're like,
Stop.
Okay, sign me up, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna interview her. She's actually our season 1.
No,
our episode 1 guest.
Exactly. Honestly, love her. No, it's so true. Okay, sorry. This is a small tangent. We've been really good. We haven't had very many tangents, but
we've been very disciplined at this school.
Yeah, exactly. I had a neighbor named Yvonne, simply out of her mind. Like simply out of her mind. Her wig was always crooked. I loved Yvonne. But she believed that her tenants were poisoning her with carbon monoxide. It was just really intense. But to be honest, I don't know. She just wanted to talk to someone every single day, and I would just go walk my dog and talk to her every single day. And I do think not to be our generation, but I think we are a little allergic to inconvenience.
We'd rather buy the merch with the big symbol on it and be like, cool, I bought the shirt. Yeah, totally. Now we're just lecturing.
No, it's so true though. It's those little moments. What does it mean? And I think talking to an organizer about that, I don't know, if the world does fucking fall apart, it's gonna be the community on your block.
You're gonna be in a bunker with her.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
with
gonna
the wine and her crooked wig. Oh God.
Yeah. Okay, I have a couple more questions before we move to the audience questions.
Yes.
But for you, I'm curious about. Okay, so you are from the West Coast. Now you live on the East Coast in New Haven at a school there. We're not quite sure which one. Is there a lesson that you've taken from each coast? Not to be so binary, but
Yeah.
What's...
Not to be so binary. Shut the fuck up. That's so funny. Yeah, I would say it's so stereotypical, but I think I've learned the beauty of winter as a time to hibernate and kind of lock in. We don't have seasons on the West Coast.
No, we don't, and
really.
I'm never locked in, and that's why.
But I think that's a little true. I think there is something about when the weather is nice all the time, there is not much urgency to really do anything. And I feel the fact that there are seasons, it's just and learning how to take care of yourself within those seasons has been so important. I have to keep exercising during the winter, otherwise things are going to get really hard. And this is my time actually where I'm maybe not seeing my friends a lot, and that doesn't mean that I don't have any friends or that I'm forever lonely, whatever. So I think that's the beauty of the East Coast that I've learned. I would say the West Coast is just I try to go home a lot, and it's just it reminds me that nothing is that fucking serious ever.
That's so
people
funny.
on the East Coast are so self-serious just because it just feels I think the weather does make it feel you're one step away from total disaster at all times. It just is you're driving on these icy roads with black ice, and it's one wrong turn. Things feel very dire.
Totally.
And then when I go into the West Coast, and I'm just everything is totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm laying in the backyard with my dogs. It's just so chill. And so I think right now I'm a little too locked in, and I'm I haven't gone home. I need to go home and just remember that nothing matters.
Totally.
And it's completely fine. But I do like those coasts for those different reasons.
Yeah, totally. I like that. And then my other question for you is, are there any other interests or dream projects on the horizon for you, or what's just kind of a hyper focus that you've had recently? Or
that's such a good question. I don't know. Everything I'm interested in is so convoluted. I would have to explain 20 minutes of history. Okay. I'm so there was this event in the 70s called Jonestown. and in the 70s, they went to Guyana. And then in Guyana, I feel but that is actually one of my interests right now. Yes. Is
Jonestown Massacre.
Yeah, the Jonestown Massacre.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that the Jonestown Massacre, those who died, it was nearly 50% black women, and a lot of them were from the Bay Area. I have aunts and uncles who almost went to Jonestown and then decided not to. It was right across the street from People's Temple was right across the street from the Nation of Islam, and my family was part of the Nation of Islam. And so, like, I mean, there are recordings of a lot of these women, like, at the Jonestown encampments because they, like, recorded everything. And so right now I'm imagining a performance where, like, what if these women in Jonestown, Guyana could have communicated with, like, other Black women and other Black feminist thinkers in San Francisco via the radio?
Wow.
And so I'm kind of trying to plan, like a performance as part of my dissertation where it's, like, you hear kind of, like, as if, like, these women in Jonestown and these kind of Black feminist thinkers are, like, talking to each other. So, yeah, all of this kind of started with radio, and I always have a lens towards, like, media, but my practice has kind of evolved into, like, a multimedia practice.
Wow,
which
that's
has been
really
super cool.
crazy. That's mind-blowing, honestly.
Yeah,
that's very
it is a
cool.
little, like, it's like whenever I tell people, it's not very snappy or like it's not very
it's
easy.
good. I
but
think, yeah, totally.
It's
You're like,
very,
it's not a party starter.
It's not
like,
a party. Hey,
did you know?
Did you know?
Wow.
But it does feel like very deep, important.
That's
feels.
fascinating. Yeah, no, that's really crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to see. Oh, I do have a question for you.
Okay. Thank you.
How many diapers do you change a night? When's the last time you got 8 hours of sleep?
For those of you who don't know, I have an 8-month-old son.
He's 8 months?
He's 8 months.
Stop! I thought he was 6. I've been saying
Yes.
6. That's crazy.
I change a diaper a night, and I've never slept 8 hours in my entire life, it feels like. Until tonight, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, hello. Oh.
Yeah. Boop, boop, boop.
Hello.
Is this real? Do we have to go?
Okay. It is an alarm. It is an alarm.
No.
Okay, so we're going to clear off, and then we'll probably come back, right? Is that the answer? Okay, great. She means business in her tone. Yeah, true intermission. Thanks, everybody.
Thought you saw The Last of Us.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
That was great, actually, because then we just got to go through the questions on a cell phone flashlight. Okay, first question. From your experience or what you've heard like on the podcast, do you ever reach a point where you feel like you know for certain about your gender / sexuality, etc., or is it evolving forever?
I think it's evolving forever.
I think it's static and it never changes. No, I'm kidding.
Honestly jealous.
I think, I don't know if you feel this way, but when I was first coming out, I was desperate for it to be static because I felt so uncertain. And I was like, okay, there has to be like an answer that I can just like relax in. Mm-hmm. And then once I felt like comfortable enough in my like gender and sexuality, then I was like, right, this should be evolving. And then I had more like bandwidth for uncertainty or flux.
And it fades to the background a little bit. Like, I don't think it goes away completely, but I'm just like, I'm not thinking about like gender. Like,
talking to someone who just came out of the closet is only talking about them coming out of the closet, which is incredible, but you're just like, oh, right, this is your time for that.
It was like college. Like, you could only talk about being gay. It was like,
college?
Yeah. When did
Try your mid-fucking 20s. How about that?
That's so funny.
No, but I know what you meant. Yeah,
totally. It's just obviously at the center of your mind. And like, I did have a hilarious moment every once in a while, obviously because I'm not someone who medically transitioned and I don't really plan on medically transitioning. I do have a moment every once in a while where I'm like, am I cis? And then like I hang out with like my cis girlfriends or like and it feels like they're like, I'm like, oh no, I'm not. Like, I'm not. I love my cis girlfriends, but I'm like, oh, I'm not. Like, when we're getting ready to go out, especially, like, I just feel like for like a lot of my friends, they just have like girl uniform, which I totally give into sometimes too. I'm just like, I just want to wear like a tank top and like a pair of like jeans or whatever. But then I'm like, no, like I need to put like the biggest blazer you've ever seen on top of this. Like I can't go out like this. It's just like I think going out, I really feel I'm like I can't be this girl right now. Like I can't be this much in girl mode. And that's when I'm like, oh yeah, no, I'm not cis. Yeah. But it's not those questions aren't coming up every day.
Totally.
Like they were. And I wasn't desperate to like get to the bottom of it.
Totally.
And figure it out. In the same way, I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That's fine. Yeah.
I think that there are a lot of like moments in life where you're really wanting to like differentiate yourself, and then you're also really wanting to feel like at home, like in a group. And I feel like you experienced that with your parents. Like we were just talking about this before the show. Like you need to like launch and be like, I'm different. You're so dumb. Or like, you like go through that phase. And then sometimes you go back and you're like, oh, but you're actually great and have like empathy or whatever. Like I feel the same with the queer community. Sometimes you're like, I don't know how many like rainbow popsicles I can eat for charity or like whatever. And then sometimes you're like, oh, I'm so happy to find a home.
I'm so grateful for this. Yeah.
I think that's another way that it can be like influx.
Yeah, totally.
Eating rainbow popsicles for charity. I'm not quite sure
I'm
where
like,
that
how
came
many
from.
fucking rainbow popsicles are you eating?
It just happened once, but it really stuck with me.
Okay, this one is, what was your favorite person you interviewed? Who was the best / funniest? And then they drew that middle school S, which I'm obsessed with.
Stussy.
Yeah.
Fun. Ooh, what would you say?
I think I already said it. I think Bay is really, really up there for me.
If you're looking, if you haven't listened to the podcast and you want a great place to start, season 2, episode 1 with Bay Davis is an absolute favorite. She's incredible.
That felt like church. Like we were talking about religion, and it felt like she was like preaching, like giving a sermon.
Yeah,
like it popped up on my social media feed again, like on Instagram recently, and I was like, that was
she's just like powerful.
Yes.
She's really iconic.
That was amazing.
I really loved Maya Fino, your friend.
Yes,
I thought Maya was incredible
love Maya
and
too.
very funny, and like that was just such an incredible episode.
Yes, Maya is like one of those people who's just like casually a genius, but can like break things, like talking about like sociopolitical and how evangelicalism in like the US has like, gone to like Africa and like the continent, and like they're a, what do? They do like policy stuff.
Whoa.
Like, but then they're just like really, really fucking cool.
Well, it was also just like very conversational. It wasn't dry in that.
It wasn't dry,
way,
like, oh, here's the policy of what's happening here.
Totally,
they were just like riffing on it, and I'm like, oh my god, you're explaining such complex ideas to us right now.
Totally.
So, yeah.
If
you want to know more about that, you should definitely listen to that episode.
Another fave I would say, and it's just personally because I was having a kid at the time, but Judith Butler was really cool to talk to because they have a son, and they really kind of like cracked me wide open.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, like your gender that you're projecting on your unborn kid doesn't need to be scary.
Yes.
And I was like, but it's boy. And
Right.
they were like, yeah, it's a little creature. You're being weird. And I was like, thank you so much.
So
it was like,
true.
it was incredible. It was very,
no, they
very
were
helpful.
so much more gentle than that. They're like, when you hold this
they
baby,
were,
like gender ceases to exist.
Yes.
And Allie's like crying, like because okay, wait, I am gonna roast you for 5 seconds, which is like, because usually Allie, Allie is like so charismatic, like so good on the fly. And they were being like so nervous.
I was
in this
really
interview.
starstruck. I was very nervous
like,
for the interview.
And then they were like, Judith Butler's probably like one of my biggest role models.
Yeah,
and I
totally.
didn't know that going into the interview. And I was like, so I feel like that, like seeing you guys interact, I think was like actually like, it still brings tears to my eyes.
I clammed right up. I really did.
But it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a very special episode.
It was
if you're
amazing.
also looking for another one. Okay, I've got our next question.
Cool.
If money, time, and energy weren't factors, what project would you guys love to make? Not including Gender Spiral. Please forgive my fidgeting with the note card. Obsessed with you. That's so real.
Are we thinking project together or just kind of our dream separate projects?
Ooh,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's
What was
answer
the
it for
intention?
both.
Okay. Ooh, I dream of this all the time. I want to teach kids in Oakland how to make radio so bad. And it kind of already exists. Like my friend Alex runs a radio station in Oakland called Lower Grand Radio. And he goes to the public library and has like teen radio hours. And like if I could like expand that. And there used to be an org called Youth Media that taught radio to people in Oakland. So that's why so many early podcasting people are from Oakland, because there was just this pipeline. and it stopped existing. So I would just love to make like a radio school.
Oh my gosh.
In Oakland.
It's
like
because
all
of
A.
funding, like that was the
I think because
issue?
of funding, they tried to kind of be like like profit corporation. Like they had like a few podcasts, and I'm guessing probably just money. It probably just didn't work
Yeah.
out, but
Wow.
that's like, if money didn't exist, that's absolutely what I would spend all my time doing.
Yeah, totally. We've
Yeah.
talked about this for future seasons, but I lived in Holland for 3 years.
Yes.
And we would love to interview people about gender in other countries. So I have a number of friends there that have gotten like top surgery or like gender affirming care for like €1. Like it's like so affordable. But
sliding a single euro
yeah,
across.
they're like €1 coin. They're like, you know, but they have to like go and see a doctor and be like, I'm still trans, like once a week. So I'm like, public health, like, what does it cost to be able to get something covered?
Totally.
I mean, not that it's so easy in America. I still was like, I'm still trans, like at a bunch of like medical meetings that I had to go to. But it would be really cool to go to like other countries.
Yeah.
I have a friend in Japan. That would be very interesting. Like these kind of like non-Western countries, it would be very interesting to hear what gender is like there.
Totally. Did you want to say like your dream project, like not Gender Spiral?
I know, I was thinking about that,
No
but
pressure.
I'm like, this is just so new for me that I've kind of put every single idea I've ever had and then like filtered it through Gender Spiral. So I'm still thinking that way. I'm
Totally.
like, this is like a trip, but also, I don't know, we put the spiral on it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this next one is fun. It's what was a bit from Ali's clean conservative stand-up.
And thank God for the fire alarm. I was able to think about it. I feel like, okay, so I'm remembering that there was one bit where I was like pretty much being like, I'm gay. But I was like, does anybody else think that kissing guys feels like rubbing two pieces of shrimp together?
Shut the fuck up. That's so funny. The closet was glass.
I was just like, and everyone laughed, and I was like, that's right, we're all in this together. But everyone was just like, what are you talking about? That's so specific.
Yeah. That's so funny. That's so classic. It's like, does anyone else think of women when they're having sex with men? like, does anybody else?
Right? We're all in this, right? You're laughing, so I'm going to tell myself that's true.
That's so
That was like the
good.
big closer.
That's so good.
Okay, cool. Do you feel, as I often do, that queer culture and third spaces are often centered on substance use? Oh, that's so interesting. If so, how do you feel about it? And how can we prevent queer spaces from being exclusionary?
Yeah.
The
I
club.
would say 100% it is. I mean, I can't speak for the whole queer community across the United States, obviously. But like,
I wish you would. I wish you would.
But like, I go out in like New York, and it's kind of I'm like, y'all, once there are numbers in the drugs, like, don't do them. Like K4, F8. Like, I'm just like, you guys, we have strayed so far from God's light. Like, please. Like, please.
Which is... Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Which is what? And so, yeah, I think it's a huge problem. But I've had many a fun... I think the way you can resist it is just like by still just going out and dancing sober, which I think is like, and also clubbing doesn't have to be the main thing. Like there are so many, I know that there are kind of like sober, like going out, like kind of groups and activities in like New York and like LA. So
Totally.
I think the way that like, I don't know, but I don't want to speak for people maybe who are like, trying to be sober
and don't want to enter like a club
yeah,
with a
exactly.
bar
I'm
or
like,
whatever.
just go to the club. And it's just like, well, it's not that easy.
I feel like the answer is Magic the Gathering. And I'm like, you can just make a third space at a kitchen table. There's no alcohol around. There's a ton of nachos. And you're just doing math publicly with your friends, which sounds like a nightmare, but is actually quite fun. Yeah, I do. I feel like these kind of like queer spaces, there is something that like it's like a party. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm like, yeah, like there's one event in all of Pride in Los Angeles that's just like a daytime picnic and it's like called Dyke Day, and there's just like babies and dogs as far as the eye can see.
But arguably, like, the best part
It's
of
the
LA
best.
Pride.
It's
Exactly.
the only part of LA Pride I've gone to for like years now. So
Yes.
yeah, there is like something to just kind of like putting a blanket down at the park and bringing like a soccer ball. I don't know. This is my dream.
I don't know. I like.
We're getting hyper specific here.
I go to the club, but I also just play like bananagrams with my friends.
What?
Like, yeah.
That's crazy. I love that.
Yeah, I had a birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and I invited, like, I have kind of a group of like friends I've known for like 5 years, and like they know we play bananagrams. But there was a new friend in the group, my friend Niara, like who hadn't really been to my house before, and we were like getting the bananagrams out, and she was like, girl, this is fucking crazy. Like, she was like, I've never seen anything. Like, this is so crazy. And, like, to her, it was so weird. But, like, you also just can, like, do that.
You really can do whatever you want. And
Yeah.
I think that that's beautiful.
Yes.
Wow. Like hard copy bananagrams that's in like the
The
banana
tiles.
zipper. Incredible.
Yeah, with the banana zipper. And
Incredible.
during the summer, me and my roommate play, like, every day.
Wow.
Every single, and it gets
And you go to
really
Yale? Is that what you said? sorry. I'm just
fucking
kidding.
dweeb. But it's the duality. Then I'll like go out to the club. I'm like, you just don't have to go out to the club like every
Totally.
fucking weekend. Like, you could just like chill and be like content. I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have more?
I think we want to save one of these. We want to save. So maybe do you
Oh,
have
okay. I
another
have one more before we do that one. What
Okay.
would season 1, episode 1, Allie and Babette be most surprised by with current Allie and Babette?
That's a really good question. The most devious look on your face. I mean, yeah, season 1, I was like so sure that I was gonna go on testosterone.
Right.
And then I tried it for 2 weeks and didn't like it.
You were like, I didn't like it, and I also didn't use the gel every day.
No, it was a whole saga. Like, I tried injections. I had a nurse that was so mad at me that I couldn't get them right. And so then like one day I just plunged the needle into myself.
my God.
And then when I took it out, it was gushing everywhere. She was like, now look, you're getting blood everywhere. I was just like,
my God.
I was like, oh my God. So that kind of turned me off to injections. I couldn't figure out injections. I found out that I was using the longest
No,
fucking
it's crazy.
needle
They
on
say
Earth.
that you need to do intramuscular or
Bitch.
whatever. You don't have to. It could be subcutaneous.
They didn't give me
Yes.
sub-Q as an option, so that kind of turned me off. And then I did like T-gel, and I just like I would microdose T-gel,
I
and do it
remember
like
this.
every
I
other
remember
day.
this.
It never felt. And then when I was on it, I just like didn't feel great. And so I think
the
season 1
body knows.
The body knows.
You knew.
No, I was like, I feel horny and dumb. I don't like this. I'm horny, hungry, and dumb.
I want to
And, like,
play bananagrams.
yeah, literally. And I turned to like my like AMAB roommate, and I was like, "Is this what it's like? Like, is this what it's like?" Like, I could not. I was not feeling it, and so I just listened to my body. And so I think like season 1 would definitely be shocked that I'm kind of like presenting in a way that's like not so different from back then, and also just like probably surprised with like how at peace I was, and that like gender does not have to be like a torturous affair. Hell yeah.
Okay, what's your question?
Okay, the question is, have you ever had an experience that was so gender, and there's stars around the gender, and it's in cursive?
Incredible. Do you have an answer? Because I do.
I get like, I think again in those moments where I'm like, oh, do I give, like, am I giving so like cis, or am I giving like so like girl mode? I do get like SIRD and like CVS during the winter when I'm like wearing my coat, and I'm just like, yeah, you know what, hell yeah, I still got it. I still got it.
So funny.
So I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. I feel really neutral about that. Like, that feels
Yeah.
very
What do you
chill.
think? Like, yeah, when I'm thinking of like so gender, you're just kind of like, I can't explain it, but that felt good. That was funny.
That was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
That was right.
I have a similar thing where it's like, I think like very specifically people not from America don't have like the cultural context of my name Allie, and so sometimes people call me Mr. Allie, and
Yes.
that is so gender.
You are Mr.
No,
Allie,
truly, like there are
dude.
Airbnb reviews that are like, Mr. Allie was a pleasure to work with. And I'm
Mr.
like,
Allie
"That's
was a pleasure to
fantastic."
work with.
Yes,
So
totally.
true. That's
Yeah,
really good.
So that's my answer.
Hell yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
For leaving the fire. There was no fire. You came back. We can't thank you enough. Thank you so much to the Rainbow Alliance. Thank you so much
Yes.
for
Thank
having
you.
us here.
Thank you, Asa. Thank you so much. This podcast like only feels more and more important to continue to make. So we're gonna, try to keep making it to the best of our ability. And more than anything, we want to be like a resource for trans folks and, this kind of like archive of resilience of like the kind of various communities that we spotlight. So we're so excited for season 4, which is coming out very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Yes. We're very excited. Thank you so much for coming. And if you want, we have a Patreon. We have an Instagram. We're online. Okay, you see, we're young like you. And
yes.
so if you want to...
Wait. What year were you guys born?
2007. Where were you on January 5th? Was it 6? Well, I'm still asking. I'd love to know your itinerary.
Wow.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you to Maggie Calvert for organizing this whole thing. And please go get a t-shirt or a signed poster at the merch table.
Thank you so much. Awesome. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it was really funny when the fire alarm went off. I was really trying to social distance on this trip because I was actually on the East Coast to go to my grandma's 102nd birthday party. And so...
White people live so long. I'm sorry.
They simply...
That's actually, like, everyone in my family's died at like 70-something. And then a bitch comes out and is like, my grandparent is 110 years old. I'm just like, oh my fucking God. And she looks amazing.
She looks incredible. She cracks a single Budweiser at the end of each day. So that needs to be studied too. Also, her culture. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to social distance this trip. I hope it's okay. I'm just going to pop and do the show, pop away. And then the fire alarm was pulled and we were just in this huge group of people like waiting outside.
Yes.
Yeah,
everyone was very like, we just all kind of politely waited. Went back inside. And of course, like the fear is always like, oh, are these people gonna like come back? Totally. It's like, oh, people could just walk away. But let me tell you, Gender Spiral fans are nothing if not loyal. Because
everyone came back
when we came back. And
wait, it was so... I felt the same thing. When we left and we were coming back, I was like, okay, we got through most of this stuff. We were doing Q&A, so like... It's okay if people just had to like go work. I mean, it's college. I'm like, do you have projects you have to work on?
You have
or you're
homework.
Just like tired.
Right.
Yeah.
You literally have homework. Like,
but literally the room just felt still super full. So that was very sweet. Shout out UPitt.
Shout out UPitt.
The biggest college campus I've ever been on in my life.
It was really, really big. But also I'm just like, maybe I actually just haven't been to like a lot of public schools that aren't on like the west or east coast. You know what I mean? Like just like expanse.
Yeah, totally.
Like just like really big ass.
Funny you say this because you really blew my mind telling me that Pittsburgh isn't necessarily East Coast.
Nope.
It's the northernmost part of Appalachia.
Exactly. The Paris of Appalachia, actually.
Excuse me.
The Paris of Appalachia. It's the biggest city in Appalachia. Wow. So it's almost like, and like where we were, if you look on the map, it's like right on the border, I think, with like Ohio. So it like felt, and I felt that. I was like, oh, this place is culturally Midwestern to me. But
yeah,
I loved it.
I really loved it. It was really special, especially the time of year that we were there.
Yeah. Overall, 10 out of 10, perfect experience. Thank you to everyone who showed up and showed out. And thank you to the president of the Rainbow Alliance, Asa Mahanti, for advocating to make this show happen. We really appreciate you.
And thank you for the magic cards that you gave me. Huge.
Yes.
Specific D20 characters reskinned as magic cards. It was awesome. And then, of course, we want to say thank you to Maggie Calvert, who works at the Office of Inclusion and Belonging. Maggie was so pivotal in making this happen, and we really appreciate you.
So on it.
Yeah.
With everything. Yeah, thank you, Maggie. You're amazing. And we'd love to do more shows at colleges and universities in person or even virtually. So if you think that we should come to your school, maybe as a speaker for your like gender studies or LGBT.
Or just come to class with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
just to hang out. Just to hang out a little bit.
What's this all about?
Well, Well, that's the thing. I always forget, like, you haven't gone to, like, a non-Christian college, which
That's
is, like, that's the tea. We both kind of went to tiny colleges, but in different ways. Like, I went to, like, a silly little Ivy League school, but, like, you went to, like, a Christian school.
Totally.
And so I'm like, can we go on a college tour of America? Like, I want to see what a lot of these schools have to offer.
Totally. Okay, and just for everyone listening, the audience submitted way more questions than we could get through during the show. So we're going to answer a few more of those questions on Patreon.
And speaking of Patreon, we recently updated our tiers, which is very exciting. We have brand new tier benefits, including ad-free listening, more bonus video content, and even early access to merch drops and live show tickets.
And in case you already didn't know it, you can link your Patreon account to your regular podcast app like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So then you can still listen to the ad-free version and the bonus content directly like on whatever app you usually listen to podcasts on.
Plus, another new perk for our highest tier members, we're now going to be giving you guys a shout out in the credits just to say thank you. So on that note, thank you so much to the following patrons: Trash Hawk, Andy Muse, Dr. B, Nat Hayes,
Fiona Fleshman, B. Peets, Tilda, and Shell B, Kenna's first favorite Sprite girl.
All this to say, the Patreon really helps us keep the podcast going, and it's an easy way to directly support us. If you like the show, you can sign up for as little as $2 per month at patreon.com/genderspiralpodcast.
We're so excited for all of these new perks coming your way, and we're officially kicking off season 4 very soon. Can't wait to spiral with you all again. Whee!
Gender Spiral is an original podcast from Audiation. Music is composed by Command Plus Jasmine and Chanel Critchlow. The theme song remix is by our friend Daria, aka Board Lord. The show is mixed by Matt Noble.
Cover art is by Joey Hahn, and graphics are by Michael Tyrone Delaney. The show is executive produced by myself, Ali Beardsley, my co-host Babette Thomas, and Sandy Smollins for Audiation. Our series producer is Ireland Meacham.
Check us out at genderspiralpod.com, where you can find transcripts for each episode, leave us a voicemail, or shop for our merch store. We've restocked the camo tees and hats. Make sure to go grab one before they're gone.
The links to our socials are in our show notes. Please follow us and subscribe on whatever podcast app you're listening to right now so you don't miss any new episodes.
Audiation.